This is the Pondra Show. My name is Ronan Okora. In the studio today, we have a special guest. He is a businessman, entrepreneur, an MC, a musician, a DJ, a promoter. He's the owner of Stick Maribo Production. Lincoln Edwards, aka Stick Maribo. Welcome to the Pondra Show today, sir.
Yes, brother. Respect. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Yes, sir. You know, it's far where I am, so everyone, I always ask them, how was your journey to come here?
It's not far, man.
It's not that far.
No, man. It's like take me about 40 minutes to get here.
All right.
You know, yeah. When you talk about far, you're talking about where
2 hours.
yeah, like from St. Thomas to Kingston. That's far.
I saw some pictures that you posted recently, and you were at the Dandenong Ranges, and I think you were helping out people who were affected by the storms. How bad was it up there?
It's terrible, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's I think there's been a lot of water on the ground, and it makes the roots of the trees really soft. And with heavy winds, they just topple over.
Oh.
And I've seen a lot of houses that has been destroyed by trees falling on them, and lots of people. I work for a company that does temporary flooring.
All right.
So we were making some temporary shelters up there. And
Oh, okay. Okay.
company decided to jump in, and
It's a sad situation to watch the year, because I heard there's some people without electricity, and we're in winter.
yeah, this is true, man. But I felt sorry for the trees.
Yeah.
They're big, massive trees, man, and they have life too,
Yeah.
And they
And
just fell over
I
like
heard
that.
they're still falling over even now. There's some
yeah.
places you can't go.
Yeah.
And the military was there. Was it helpful? The military.
Well,
they brought in?
I didn't see the military. That's a good thing, because they probably, if they saw me, I'd
Oh,
be
okay.
here with you today.
Oh, beautiful, man. It's good that you came today. I was going to ask you whether you're volunteering or you were getting paid to do what you were doing up there.
Yeah, I got paid. I got a sausage and egg in a roll with avocado and hot coffee.
All right.
Yeah, man, it was good.
Stick Maribo. You're originally from Jamaica, right? Born and bred in Jamaica.
Well, yes, but that's a two-part question, really, because my history began before Jamaica, even though that's where I
Alright.
was born.
Yeah.
It's only like earlier this year I did my DNA, and the result actually came back and point me into a place I've never actually heard of.
Where did he point you to?
Benin and Togo, which
Whereabouts is it?
well, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I never heard of that place until
No.
I got my results. So I went to look up Benin and Togo, and I realized it's on the west coast of Africa, near Ghana,
All
near
right.
Ivory Coast,
Where they
near-
were doing slave trade straight to the
Correct.
islands.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So 68% of my DNA is from Benin
It's
and
from
Togo.
there.
And then I look up the people of Benin and Togo, and it looked to me like they're all Jamaicans.
All right.
So that's where
Yeah.
the people came from. We weren't slaves, we were Africans.
Yeah, exactly.
And they took us to the Caribbean and North America and turned us into slaves.
All right.
And so that's why I was born in Jamaica. My mother's great grandmother was a slave lady, so
All right.
yeah.
Did they work in cotton fields? Do you have cotton in Jamaica, or what were they
We
doing?
don't have any. We don't have any cotton
So
fields
what
in
were
Jamaica.
the slaves doing in Jamaica? Was it a stopover place, then delivered somewhere else to America and stuff?
No, it wasn't a stopover place. That's the final destination.
Final destination.
History says that when the Africans were being transported to the Caribbean and North America, any slave that was giving extremely bad problems, big trouble, they send them to Jamaica.
Okay, it's like
And Jamaica is the
Yeah.
destination. So
Alright.
my people, my mother and father, their people live between two sugar estates.
All
so
right,
you have
sugarcane,
Duckensfield at one end and Surge Island at the other end. And my place where I was born is a little village called York District. and it's in the middle of those two sugar estates. As a little boy, I remember my father. I used to take his lunch to him when he was cutting sugar cane and loading it onto trucks. This is after slavery was over, naturally.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how that area still carry on.
Oh, the tradition,
Because that was their source of employment.
Because I grew up at a sugarcane plantation farm myself in Zimbabwe. It's called Triangle. And we used to have this sweet smell every time I'm in the bus going back home. Molasses.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You know the drill, man.
Yes, and in St. Thomas as well, from Duckensfield and Surge Island, they used to make their own rum.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
one they call one is
sweets.
more than one that is more than 100% proof.
Wow.
It's called the Jankrabati.
Are they still making it now?
I don't know, but it was
So
always
good.
under the shelf. You know.
Do you have the recipe to make it?
No, I don't have that recipe. I can make a wine, make wine from scratch, but
Okay.
but not rum. Maybe I should give it a try.
Yeah, you should. But probably it's in your blood.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us your story, man. I mean, like you grew up there, your primary, how was your family structure like? I mean, like dad, mom, siblings? How many were
Yeah,
you?
look, I grew up in a home with mom and dad my whole life till I was 24 before I left, and my parents in my house there were 8 children. So I'm the oldest boy after 4 girls. I was born the 5th child, and so there was a lot of pressure on me to carry on the family name and tradition, and to make sure that the ones that are younger than me, that I look out for them.
So it still applies in Jamaica. I thought you
Yes.
only applied in Africa, you know, if you were the first born boy, the first one, they always say you're carrying the family name.
Correct. Yes. So I think that was the plan for me. But at the age of 24, Jamaica got a little bit too small for me.
All right.
Yeah, and I had ambitions to
Yeah.
travel to North America, to Canada, to the UK,
Yeah.
anywhere, even Cuba.
All right.
You know, Cuba's only 90 miles away
So
from
we're from
Jamaica.
yeah.
If I could swim there.
Well,
Couldn't swim that way.
some people do swim 90 miles. I'll tell you.
So I end up on a 3-day journey to fly from Jamaica to Australia.
Why really?
That was the first time I left Jamaica.
Yeah. Why was it a choice or opportunity or some one dude who came here and said, "Oh, I found a lovely wife." I went like, "I need to go live in Australia."
Well, the wife came later.
Okay.
But that's not the reason why I came.
All right.
I was living with my sister and her husband, and they had 4 boys at the time.
Why?
And I was just one of the boys. I lived with them, and when my brother-in-law came to Australia, then I followed him. Then the 2 oldest boys
Came as well.
after me, and then my sister and the other 2.
When was
the other
this?
3. Long time ago, and it was the 24th of November, 1987.
My God. I wasn't even in primary yet. Jeez.
Yeah,
I think I was 4 or something, yeah.
yeah. So
That was a long time ago,
it's a
man.
very long time ago.
How was Australia then? Did you experience any culture shock and stuff like that? I mean, is like real black people coming through to Australia? I know there were some other who came before. How was it?
I was quite depressed for about 6 months, to be honest, because when I live in Jamaica, there's party every day.
Yeah, that's what I
You know,
imagine Jamaica be.
Yeah, I had my own crew come and check me every day. We just, hang out, and it was just pure fun. And, I was the king of my little town, And I came to Australia, and I was quite lost.
And at that time, you didn't have Facebook, cell phones, or you had to write a letter to find out how the boys are doing.
I can tell you a couple of stories about arriving in
Please.
Australia. The first, when it was a 3-day journey because of the connections with the flights. I flew from Kingston to Miami, and I spent 12 hours in Miami for a connection flight.
At the airport.
At the airport. Then, because I couldn't go anywhere. I didn't have a visa for the States. And then I flew to LA, and wait a day to connect with a flight that was taking me to Sydney. When I got to Sydney, I was allowed to clear customs for the first time, and when I went to the custom officer, took my passport, asked me a bunch of questions, stamped my passport and give it back to me and says, "See you later." And I said, "Well, this is a nice place." So then I had to get on another plane because my brother-in-law is living in Melbourne.
Okay.
So when I got off the plane in Melbourne, I said to my brother-in-law, "You know, the immigration officer, cute woman, says she's going to see me later, but I should have asked her for her number."
They said no.
I said, "How am I going to see her? Because I never get any contact details and I don't have no phone." He fell on the ground in laughter. He says, "You will never see her again."
That's the lingo.
It's just a lingua. You know? Yeah, so that was that's my first day in Australia. And then we were sharing a flat with a guy named Andrew in Turak. And, you know, I arrived
Was he Jamaican too?
No, Andrew is a very Aussie man. Nice man, you know? Nice, very, very generous guy. And he says, you know, I arrive on a Wednesday or a Thursday. He says, let's go up to the bar and have a drink. I said, I'd love to do that. So we went to the bar and he bought me a beer. He said, "What would you like?" I said, "I'll have a beer." He bought me a beer. I drank that beer. He says, "Would you like another drink?" I said, "Yeah, I'll have the same thing again." So he bought me another beer and I drank that. And then he says to me, it's your shout. And I say, "I don't want to shout."
Yeah.
And he says, "What do you mean? It's your shout." And I said, "No, man, I don't want to shout. This bar is full of people. I'm not going to shout in here." So he says, and my accent was very, very strong, you know.
Like strong Jamaican.
He got frustrated. And we went back to the flat and I said to my brother-in-law, say, "Andrew is crazy, man.
You wanted me to shout.
He wants me to shout in a bar full of people." And Dalton fell on the ground again in laughter. He says, "It was your turn to buy a drink."
All right, geez.
And that was my first week. But everything smelled different. All the food had no taste to me. And I just miss, you know, the people. Miss my family. And
because I'm sure when you're back home, it's a close community. You would know your neighbors. You would know someone down the streets there and stuff like that when you were back home. But now, when you move to Australia, you don't even know who.
That's right, man.
Is.
That's right, man. You know,
different culture too.
I knew every person's name in my community, and they knew me as well.
Yeah.
So I really couldn't get up to no good. But here, when I felt isolated, and then one day, my first trip into Melbourne City.
Yeah.
I was just shocked because I've never seen that many people before. And I never saw one black face coming towards me.
That's what I was going to ask you, man.
This was 1987.
That's what I'm going to ask you.
Apart from my brother-in-law, if I don't go to a club that plays a bit of reggae and R&B and funk, I don't see no black people, man. And that was tough times living here.
But you must have been popular because people, if you go regularly to the same club, they would know you.
Well,
how about the racism and stuff like that? Did you experience any of those at that time, or it started later on when a lot of Africans we started coming through?
Well, I tell you what, a lot of Australian people are racist and they don't know that they're racist because it's so inbred in them. Yeah. And so, but I've never really had anyone who wanted to be racist, like come out to be racist towards me. But just certain
it's
things
natural
they
in
say,
there,
like if someone says to me, even if they're a white friend that says to me, "You should smile more so I can see you." That's racist. But they will. But they will. They will think they're making a joke.
Exactly.
But it's quite offensive, and I always put my friends, white or black, on the same page. Like, you can't say that because that is offensive, and it offends me. And I've got friends from the day I arrived in Australia who are white, who
are still your friends,
educated, and they're still my friends.
Yeah.
you know.
Ah, beautiful. So what happened? Did you find a job? What happened to Stick Maribo when you moved in? Found a job?
Well, I wasn't Stick Maribo at that time. I just
Why Stick Maribo? I wanted to ask you because
you will hear.
Lincoln, Lincoln Edwards.
You will hear.
Now Stick Maribo.
You will hear, my brother,
Yes, sir.
because so I arrived in Australia either a Wednesday or a Thursday, and you know it was the same year in September 1987 on September 11th actually. Peter Tosh was shot and killed in Jamaica.
Oh, okay.
So when I was coming here, I bought every Peter Tosh album that
Yeah,
I could
yeah,
get,
yeah,
and
yeah.
some Bob Marley and the latest Shabba Ranks, Cutty Ranks, you know, all of
Everything.
the up and coming young artists. Shabba was young them time,
Yeah,
and
he
Yellow
was
Man was
young.
king, and you know, and so I had all those albums and you know 245s, and so I went to a club and I brought my own collection of records with me, which is a no. You should never do that. That will upset every
Offended the
DJ.
DJ. Yeah.
So I brought my entire reggae collection, brand new from Jamaica. Some of them I never even take them out of
Oh, the plastic, yeah.
paper at the time, and I brought them to the club. And I went up to the DJ who I'm just meeting for the first time, introduced myself, and said to him, DJ, you should play these because these are hot right now in Jamaica. And he
He
says
looked
to
at
me,
you funny.
he says, why don't you play them yourself? And I say, I'm not a DJ.
Okay.
He says, come on, I'll show you. And his name was Silky. Played R&B and funk all
Yeah, yeah,
across Australia for a long time. Put me on the turntable, show me what was the master, show me what was a crossfader, and says, I'm going to the bar. You're in charge.
Yeah.
And I DJ for 2 hours that night without stopping. And I was not much of a DJ, but the music was so good.
Was just on and on and on.
Yeah, the bar was pumping, the dance floor was pumping. The guy took the night off. And the owner of the bar said to me, where do you DJ? And I said, I don't DJ anywhere, man. He says, do you want to come back next week? And I said, sure. And I spent 10 years DJing at the Bridge Club,
Wow.
199 Bridge Road in Richmond.
Yeah.
10 years I spent there DJing from 1987. And it was there
Yeah.
in 2000, sorry, and
In
it was there
19
in 1994. A drunk came up to me and says, I love your voice, you know, you sound good, like I'd like to put you on my radio station. And I said to him, do you play reggae? And he says, no, but you know, we play Patu Bantan and we play Shaggy. And I said, but do you play real reggae?
Reggae.
And he says, no, but I love your voice. You should come. And I threw away his card. But then he came back to the club 2 weeks
Looking
later and
for
says, listen, man, I'll give you $500 to come to the studio and read a few lines for me.
All right.
And I went to the studio and I read about 15 different lines
in it.
and they recorded. And I can see the production team on the other side of the floor lying on the ground in stitches in laughter, laughing at my accent. And they gave me a job on the radio.
Wow.
And I spent 7 years working at Fox
At
FM.
Fox FM, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was the Black Thunder, like the original Black Thunder. I don't know if because of the color of the skin or whatever, but when I was coming out, it was lightning and thunder, you know? And so one day when I got back from the street, the manager says to me, says, you know that name Lincoln? It's a nice name, you know? He says, but don't you have a nickname? And I said, yeah, I can have a nickname, you know, but I don't really like it that much. He says, what is it? And I said, it's Stick. And he says, that's the name. The girls will remember it and they love it. So I was called Stick from there. And when I look up all the musical instruments that the Aboriginal people use, there's a place called Mariba that the people there make a lot of musical sticks and
instruments.
stuff. There's a place
okay.
in Australia called
Wow.
Mariba. Not Maribo, but Mariba. So I am a Stick Maribo.
All right.
The only one in the world.
Yeah. I was going to ask you because from Lincoln to Stick Maribo, I thought someone would have given you a nickname or something like that.
Yeah, Stick
because
has.
because they always tell me when you get to Australia. When I got here, I was working as a kitchen hand. They said to me, we have to give you a nickname or something, or shorten your name, or you can't call yourself Ronald. Nah.
You need a nickname.
Yeah.
Well, mine was Stick because I was like a real stick, to be honest.
All right.
In my younger days, I was very skinny, and I didn't like people calling me the Stick.
All right. Yeah. The nickname that you don't like sticks.
But correct. But
That's
now
the
it's a
one. That's the
brand.
one. That's the one that stays, man.
Yeah, man. Now it's a brand, stand up on its own, you know.
It is. It is. Man. Stick Maribo. Stick Maribo production has been running for 21 years, 6 months, if I'm correct.
Is that right?
I'm sure.
Yeah. Look, I've been. It's been a kind of a underground kind of thing for quite some time. I used to DJ every night of the week, and that's how I run my business. I was the king of bar mitzvah parties.
All right.
I do a lot of bar mitzvahs. I still do them from time to
So
time.
you're a versatile DJ, yeah? Because you're a versatile because you used to be on a hot 30 countdown.
Yeah. Host that for a few
You
months.
do reggae, you do bar mitzvahs, you do
do weddings. I do
Weddings.
corporate gigs. Everything. Yeah.
you're wide ranged. You're not only limited to reggae dance or yeah.
Well, all the time I spend in commercial radio. I 7 years at Fox FM and 16 years at Kiss 101.1. And in all those times, I really never did much about reggae music. Played top 40 and pop and rock and roll and whatever. But in 2016, I decided I'm going back to my roots.
All right.
And my mission when I came here was to promote reggae. And that's what I want to do. I stopped doing a lot of the commercial side of things. And that's when I had a vision to put on a Jamaican music and food festival.
I was going to ask you that because Stick Maribo production itself, I wanted to know what do you do? What does it do? What do you specialize in? Because when I was looking it up, it says you specialize in Jamaican events, the Jamaican food and festival, reggae concert, reggae events. Is that right?
Sir. So Stick Maribo production started with my good friend Zara Demus, the Jamaican Music and Food Festival. And in that year, I started touring Jamaican artists as well.
Okay.
And some artists from Europe. So, whenever the festival is on, I would bring out an international.
All right. Sorry to cut you off. Okay. So I want to get the story right. So you were a commercial radio DJ. And you were a promoter at the same time, or you started promotion when you left commercial radio DJing?
I always did little gigs here and there.
Promotional gigs and stuff?
Promotional gigs here and there in the reggae community. But not as much as I should have.
All right.
I was more into playing music for the money.
All right,
Because I have my children and they're all going to school and it was stability.
Like everyone.
Once the last one was graduating from school, I decided I wanted to do what makes my heart happy. And that's when I started being more prolific with the tours and the festival. And, even a year like this year, I've decided to do a reggae event one every month.
All right.
And they're all different.
Yeah.
So I started touring, one of my biggest the biggest artists I don't know if everyone would agree, but Taros Riley came out here and went on a show with Taros.
He's big.
Yeah, man.
How did you get him? How did you get the numbers and stuff as a promoter? Wasn't it hard?
Yes, very
Connections.
hard. Because if you don't have a name and a reputation, first of all, the artists don't want to know anything about you. That you've never done anything with people that they know before, because they'll ask you, who have you toured? Where did you tour them? How did it go? And so it was very hard to actually get such a big name as one of my first tour. But when Taros came to Melbourne Airport, he was a screwface. When I say a screwface, an unhappy looking person.
All right.
And the manager who I've always been dealing with for the whole process. I met the manager. I knew who he was. we had a chat. He introduced me to Taros. And as soon as I said to Taros, welcome to Australia, he looked at me. He says, where are you from? I say, Morant Bay. He says, my place? I said, yes. Because my niece was going to school with Taros' daughter.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I say, yeah, I'm from St. Thomas. He says, in the east? And I say, yeah, and Taros was just happy. You know, all right, this is what we want to do. I want to go to the gym. I want to get some food. I want to cook. I want to go to your house. I want to cook with you. I want to, you know. And Taros had a ball here. And so Dean Fraser was with him at the time as well, who is another legend.
All right.
And, you know, the good news spread after that. You go to Australia, make sure you link up with Stick Maribo. He'll cook for you. He will put on your show. You will get your money, because that's always a problem with artists traveling
and promoters
away from.
too.
Yeah, sometimes the promotion fall down and the artist is the one that doesn't get what they're supposed to. But I always knew that
your deal,
that I wanted to look after my people, because, you know, it was a shock. Every artist that I bring out from Jamaica or from the UK, when they arrive here, they go, you Jamaican? And I go, yeah. They go, it's very rare that we ever go anywhere and the promoter is a Jamaican. You know. So it's an advantage to you too. And now your name is known everywhere, actually, in the Jamaican community. Yeah, well, you know, I've toured some of the big name artists, and I toured Bob Marley's son. Wow. Kimani Marley. Yeah, I saw the videos at the time. Yeah. I toured Mad Professor. I toured General Levy. I toured Itana. You know, I toured Maccabee. Yeah. So your resume is good, sir. I like to think so, but the work is only just begun, you know. There's a lot of work to be done, and Australia has been a very, very good place for me, and I've got lots of friends and lots of support, especially here in Melbourne. You know, all my events are well attended, you know, and so I feel very, very fortunate, very fortunate to be able to present my culture to people. Let's talk about the Jamaican music and food festival. That's your baby, right? Obviously, you have groomed it to be where it is now. Man, can you tell me, how do you manage to take it on tour? Are you a chef as well? Because it seems as if you like cooking. I follow you on YouTube. You'll be cooking. Is that your granddaughter? That's my granddaughter. Oh, man. Little Sasha. Yeah? She's 9. And every video that I see, you're always cooking, playing music and stuff. Yeah, a very good friend of mine work at Triple R, Sister BB. She says, Stick, everything that you talk about always goes back to food. Yeah. Doesn't matter what question, it goes back to food. Well, I actually work at one of the most established place to eat in Jamaica, in Kingston, a place called Devon House. All right. 26 Hope Road. And Bob Marley was at 56 Hope Road. That's where Tough Gang is. Yeah. And so between 1981 and 1986, I work at Devon House in the kitchen. So I can cook. I mean, I would say I did a 2.5-year apprenticeship in there. Yeah. And that's enough. Yeah, that's enough. So, am I a chef? Yes, my children would think so. But I don't like cooking just for the general public. I like cooking for people who appreciate it. Yeah. Just recently, I offered to go and cook with my friend in his kitchen. Oh, okay. Because I know his family is going to appreciate it. It's better to me than, you know, a bunch of people coming to a restaurant, eating, paying their money, and showing no appreciation. That's what I was going to ask you. Are you going to see a Stick Maribo restaurant somewhere sometime soon? Restaurants are hard to run, man. Yeah, you're chained to it like a ball and chain around your legs. Wake up early in the morning, you leave late. You do the accounts. It's very hard to make money for the hours you put in. Yeah. But I love cooking, so I wouldn't rule it out completely. But you can't, you know, they say if you go in the woods and you see 2 rabbits and you chase both of them, both will get away. Yes, just focus on one. Yeah.
That's
Nothing
true.
no harm would come to the rabbit or anything because I'm trying to go vegan.
You
But
going
it's a
vegan?
metaphor, you know.
Yeah, it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. Are you vegan yourself, or you're venturing into that?
I was vegan for about 6 months on a tour Maccabee because he's a strict vegan, and I didn't think I could eat vegan. But living and touring with Maccabee was a highlight because I realized that you don't have to eat as much meat or any meat at all
All right.
as I was eating then.
Yeah.
And you know, I went vegan for about 3 months after Maccabee came and left,
Oh, okay.
and,
Yeah.
and I had no pot belly. The belly
You lost
went,
everything.
everything went, and
I think
my
I should.
system started working better, and everything. You know,
You wake up better too in the morning.
I was full of energy and stuff. But my family are meat eating,
So you,
carnivorous people. You know, so I get
how
back
many
into
kids?
bad habits.
5, 6, 4.
Well, you know, a lot of people keep giving me 5, but there's
Yeah.
only 4.
All right.
There's definitely only 4.
Yeah.
And they're one mother, and they were born in the same house.
All right. Beautiful. And
Only 4.
any one of them following your footsteps in DJing, promoting, and the music and stuff?
Well, no, they're smart kids. You know, I did all those late nights and long hours
For them.
for them, and you know, my oldest daughter has just finished her degree. She's gonna become a teacher. The second one
Beautiful.
is becoming a teacher. My oldest boy is a banker.
Wow.
And this T-shirt, this jumper I'm wearing,
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
a design.
Black shining prince.
This is
Malcolm
this
X.
is my youngest son's design,
All right.
and
He's a
he
design.
makes these T-shirts and he makes social media content, and,
All right.
and he is
Where can we get his stuff?
online. Yes, online. You know, you just gotta. I'll have to find out the details because I think
Yeah.
he's launching tomorrow. To be honest,
How is he?
and he insists that you better wear that
Wear that.
tonight. You know, so.
If he was launching, you should have come with the details too, man. And anyway, we're talking about the events that you're running, so we might slide off to where as a granddad. Do you feel like the kids? How many grandkids do you have?
2.
So the kids are always dropped off at your house.
We just had our second one on the 10th of May.
Congratulations!
So thank you, sir. My daughter
Congratulations,
just got her
man.
second child. They're 9 years apart. So we
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
little boy named Cassius,
Yes, sir.
and he's a champion already. Everyone says he's got my nose, but
Yeah.
it's not my nose. It's my mom's nose. 'Cause my daughter has the same nose. So
All right.
yeah.
All
So no, it's a different kind of parenting, to be honest. You know, because I still feel young enough to run after them, and
Yeah, you
he's not
are.
running
You're
yet.
very-
But you know, my granddaughter is very active, and she's on the go. She might become a DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, she love the music and she love the food, and yeah, she still has to come over and stay every second weekend.
Ah, beautiful.
Because
Beautiful. Otherwise,
close like
you
that.
miss it. Yeah.
Man, it's I look to get days off work just so I can stay home with them.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Man, we were talking still about the Jamaican. So tell us how the event looks like. I know we've got 4 events to talk about today, but I want to really talk about the Jamaican food and music festival. Say it's the day of the festival. It's a one day festival, right?
Yes, correct. And
So tell us, it's like in the morning.
and
what time does
today
it start?
today's the 1st of July. I don't know when your podcast will go to air, but today as we speak,
is the
it's the
festival.
1st of July.
Congratulations, 1,000 tickets.
And today
My
is
God.
International Reggae Day.
Yes, sir.
Right across the globe.
Yeah.
And we decided to launch the festival today. We never really did anything extra. We just said, well, the tickets are up for sale. Get them early. We have kind of restrictions with the festival coming up in December. And at just before 2 o'clock today, it was 1,000 tickets sold. And they still, every time my phone beeps, that's another ticket sold. So they,
All right.
yeah, I think it's just because the people have been cooped up and locked up for so long that,
Plus, you've already created a very good following yourself because of what you do, man. I'm because I see Stick Maribo everywhere promoting. The work you put, man, shows with the results that come.
well, I do it from the heart, you know, because there's not much money to be made doing it. I'm really passionate about Jamaican culture. I'm passionate about the music, all genre of Jamaican music, ska, rock, steady, dub, jungle, dancehall, reggae, roots, everything. I play them all, yeah. And so this festival, when I thought about doing a Jamaican event, I knew that the music was forefront because that's the export from Jamaica that the whole world crave.
Yes.
And I said, but I love food. I can't have music without food. And everywhere I go in Jamaica, when the parties are running, the first thing start is the kitchen. So I said, we're going to do the Jamaican music and food. And I want to have as many different areas playing different style Jamaican music as possible. So I had to find the right space to do it. And when I came across Seaworks in Williamstown, it reminds me of a place in Jamaica called Port Royal.
What do they do?
It's rustic and it's near the sea, and you kind of have to cross over the Caribbean Sea to get there. And it's not an island or anything, but Port Royal is the place that inspired Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, wow.
That's correct, yeah. The real pirates were there.
All
in
right.
Port Royal.
Yeah.
It was once called the wickedest city in the world because all the pirates would go there and did their atrocities.
I was telling someone, I said, do you know, the most feared pirates used to actually go Jamaica and just stay in that area.
Yeah, because the queen appointed that pirate to control the other pirates, but he was the biggest pirate of them all. That Henry Morgan. Wicked pirate. That's why the Almighty sank Port Royal. Because it was so wicked there, you know. They used to go there and rape all the women. In Port Royal, there's a lot of children, offsprings of atrocities that are light skinned, or they call them mulattoes. You know. So, but when I went to Seaworks in Williamstown and spot that place, it reminded me so much of Port Royal because now it's a tourist destination. And I said, this is the place. And we decided to book every person that was playing reggae in Melbourne
To come set up.
come and play music on one of our 4 stages. Actually, we started off with 5 stages, but it was too crazy. Because there's a lot of sound bleed, and we were testing things out. And there'll still be some sound bleed, but this year we're going to have 4 different areas.
So what happens with the food now? So there will be vendors around, or
Yes, look, with having 5,000 people in a space, you need about 35, 40 vendors. So there's not massive queues everywhere, and there's variety. You know, it's very difficult to find that many Jamaican food vendors. So it's not 100% Jamaican food. I wish it was, because the cuisine is so large. There's a lot of mixture of French and Dutch and English and the Portuguese. You know, there's
but it shows too that Australian has got a diversity of culture. Because I'm sure even if we usually go to the Italian ones, but you see a lot of different cultures in there. Even Africans will be there and
Absolutely.
stuff. And stuff like that.
So for the first festival, I had to actually get some home cooks to register a business and get the permit to come out of the kitchen and cook and sell. And some of them have got good established business now. You know, so there was just a handful of people who had registered catering business that I could call upon. But I knew a lot of people who cook Jamaican food very well. And, that home style cooking, having it like the street food from Jamaica at
So
JMFF.
you actually created employment.
Yeah, man. I even coached my son to start his own food business.
Wow.
And he started up a hot chicken wing business called the Wingman.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should try that one.
And the Wingman is very popular.
Wicked.
Yeah, man.
All right. So that's the setup. You have five different sort of like setup for music.
Yeah, so this year, the festival will be set up like this. We will be at Seaworks in Williamstown. The main stage will be on the runway on the boardwalk heading out towards the water. We're gonna inside the big shed. We're gonna have like a family area and also some dancehall classes,
All right.
teaching people how to dance properly to Jamaican music. And we have the Jungle City, dancers
yeah, with
who are going to
Kate
take that
Whitty,
space
yeah.
and they're going to run classes all day and some activities for the family
Beautiful.
in there as well in those breaks. And we're going to have the Queen's Domain, which is inside
What's
the Little
that one?
Pirates Tavern. So there's a brand new sound system on the market called Housewife's Choice.
All right.
Their sound system is fresh. And I'm giving them total creative rights inside the Pirates Tavern to bring in all the queens that are involved in reggae music in Melbourne. And the festival is 100% local this year because due to
Yeah,
the
I saw
pandemic.
the yeah, I saw yeah.
And you know, even if the place was open up and we could bring in internationals, I think the local artists need more support.
Due to
And
the
so,
pandemic and stuff.
because you know a lot of people haven't been working and playing their trade out there, so we're gonna use all of the local artists that we can put together, and that will be inside the Pirates Tavern. All the women in reggae music. It's called
Oh,
the
the
Queen's
Queens.
Domain.
Kwashan Bad.
Shani
everyone.
Bad will be in there.
I mentioned
Miss Fee.
Zimbabweans.
Yeah, Miss Fee will be in
Zimbabwe,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Every one of them will be in there. I take great pride in making that space because
Are creating, opportunities for people, man.
there's a strange phenomenon in Melbourne that there are about 35 or 40 women in reggae music, either DJs, singers, musician, whatever. It is unlike any place else in the world. Even in Jamaica, I have never ever met a woman in Jamaica that was a DJ. I mean, I've left Jamaica a long time ago now,
yeah.
and there must be people doing that as
Now.
a trade now. But in Melbourne alone, there's about 35 women that are DJs, and there's not even any other city in Melbourne don't have half as much. And I don't think anywhere else in the world, maybe the UK and the US because of the population. But I like to embrace that in Melbourne and advertise it and give them the space to be creative. And I won't tell them what to do in there.
They'll just
there.
freelance. Stick Maribu. Can are we allowed to say you're the pioneer of Jamaican events in Melbourne or in Australia? Because you actually told.
I wouldn't say I am the pioneer.
Who else is doing what you do?
I don't know. I just
So
know
you
when
are
my
the
story
pioneer.
started, you know? Yeah,
Yeah.
because Bob Marley came here, 41 years ago. And I wasn't living here then. Babylon by Bus came here as one of the last leg of his tour. I think New Zealand might have been the very last place he went to.
You told, yeah.
And so, there were people bringing out artists out here long before me. But as a Jamaican, I don't think there's ever been any other Jamaican who decided to put their Jamaican brothers and sisters on stage in Melbourne.
That's beautiful, man.
I love it, brother.
Yeah. I can't explain it. So we've got 4 events that are going on. Anyway, before we get into there, I was going to ask you how COVID-19 restrictions or COVID itself has affected your business.
In a bad way, man. Terrible, terrible. It has actually given me some. There are good sides to the COVID pandemic for me. But as far as the music and promotion goes, I've had like 18 different events postponed or cancelled.
Wow.
I think one of my last tour was just before lockdown with General Levy in March of 2020.
20, yeah.
After General Levy's show, March, April, bang, lockdown, right? And all my shows after that got cancelled. We didn't even do JMFF in 2020.
How did you manage to move on? You've got a beautiful, supportive family. Your wife must be very supportive because I would have been stressed.
My wife,
being in the business and just be shut down like that?
no, my wife is a businesswoman herself. She has her own business,
Wow. Okay.
and she's a rock. And she, prop me up all the time.
Yeah.
Very, very
women.
big support. Natasha, I love you. Babes. Yeah. So that's if it wasn't for her, I couldn't carry on with what I love to do. But she supports me and gives me strength. And, I just we just had a big event, got cancelled on the 6th of June, a heavy Congress gig that we're putting together at Melbourne Town Hall. 9 sound systems in one place. It's never happened before.
I saw that in the newspaper in not the Herald, the other one. Was it the one?
In the Herald Sun, in the Age.
Age.
Yeah, it was on
I
every
read that one in the
television
Age.
station, in every magazine, every news
Was that
media
one
covered
cancelled?
it.
Stick. I didn't know it was cancelled.
It was cancelled
You must have been
because
frustrated.
we went into lockdown the week before, 1 week before Heavy Congress. It's going to happen though.
All right.
We have all the tools, all of the parts, everything is set for it to go ahead in 2021.
Because you had sound systems from Adelaide, from Sydney, and everyone else.
No, we didn't. They were all local.
They were all local.
Nine
Okay.
sound systems from Melbourne.
Have you done that one before?
No, I've never done that before.
That was the
but
first one.
I
That's
love
why
a
you were in
challenge.
Channel 7.
love
I
a
saw you in Channel 7.
That's why I've now got some grey beard coming through. It is a challenge.
It's thinking too much,
Have you
Stick.
ever dealt with a person who owns a sound system? Mm-hmm. They're a different breed
I've
of people.
never done
It takes a very special quality to own a sound system. It's a lifestyle. It's not just owning a sound system. You have to be a special person. And I knew this from when I was in Jamaica anyway.
Because in Jamaica, I'm sure there are heaps of sound
Yeah,
systems.
there's a sound
Is that where it originated?
There's a sound system in every second house in Jamaica. Absolutely, 100%. That's where it all started.
Originated, yeah.
1941 was the time the first sound system got played in Jamaica.
So how did it spread all over? Because you can find it in the UK, in Canada, everywhere, Ireland.
So, look,
There's an Ireland dude who is here you were interviewing the other time. I think it
the-
sounds Irish or
The sound system
culture.
story is a long story. I don't think we have
wait,
enough time.
now we're done.
But I'll give you a short version.
Yes, sir.
The Jamaican farmers used to go and work in the United States to pick apple and cut sugar on a contract with the Jamaican government and the American government. And they would buy their R&B and rhythm and blues, the R&B
Yeah.
and the country and western records and bring them back to Jamaica.
Yeah.
And they used to play them on their little, home system that they brought in the
brought
States. And the guys just get more creative and start building their own speakers and putting in special amplifiers.
Yes.
And they just grow and grow and grow and grow until they start competing against each other. And that's how the sound system kind of got into the dance hall in Jamaica in the 50s and the 60s. And in 1960s, with the Windrush generation that was moving to the UK, 'cause
Yeah.
the UK government says, you can come, you can get work over here and better yourself. So they were taking their records with them from Jamaica to the UK. And naturally, when they get to the UK, they could find equipment to build sound systems. So they were building them even bigger and better. And it just got spread out all across the globe.
All
Sound
across.
systems everywhere, especially in Europe.
Europe, man. Amsterdam, every German.
There are more than 50 sound systems in Australia.
Wow, I didn't even know
There's
that.
at least 25 in Melbourne alone. So, yeah, it's a big part of...
So are you putting them all together or you just chose 9 in Melbourne? How did you choose them anyway?
Well, we wanted to put 12 together, but we couldn't find a venue that was big enough. And because we want all of them to play at certain time, we wouldn't have enough time in the day.
So what happens
more.
during the clash? Do you set up your own speakers over this side? Someone says, or you just use the same speakers and stuff?
Yeah, so the clash is a different thing completely
All
to
right.
what we were going to do at the town hall.
Okay.
The sound systems in Australia don't seem to want to clash.
Oh,
The clash is a serious thing. It can get personal.
yeah. And
People can even start
it can
talking about your mom.
derail. Yeah.
No, it can get nasty.
Can derail some
But
careers.
we have a clash coming up.
Yeah. We were going to
have a
talk.
clash
Yeah,
coming up.
yeah. We were going to talk about that.
But the Heavy Congress event was going to be a unity kind of event. It was more like
To celebrate.
It's like speed dating of sound system. Because all the sound systems would play for 20 minutes at a time, and you keep moving around to the one that was playing, and we'd rotate every 2 hours. They start again, and so it was gonna be like speed dating sound system.
Stick, you're always busy, man. So we have 4 events coming up in the next few months. Stick Maribo. One, the Jamaican Independence Celebration Day on Saturday, the 7th of August, 2021. There are 2 events. Tell us about them.
Yes, so the Jamaican Independence Day is on August 6th every year. But this event is on the Saturday, the 7th. So the day after Jamaican Independence Day, which will be exactly Jamaica Independence Day in Jamaica. Because we're like 16 hours ahead. So we're going to have a family day during the daytime from about midday with food and music and some entertainment for the kids. Some old-time Jamaican things will happen like domino games and some stories being told about young Jamaica. Because Jamaica is turning 59 years old this year.
Wow.
And so we'll bring the family out and have some family-orientated entertainment for everyone. And then later that evening from 9 p.m., the kids can go home and we're going to have a sound clash.
So at the same venue?
At the same venue.
Wow.
204 Broadway in Reservoir. It's a small venue, but I don't want everybody to come to the sound clash. I only want the people who actually knows about sound clash because this one is serious.
It's like the real sound clash. If you don't understand sound clash, sometimes you go like, what's going on?
Well, the purists will say it's not the real sound clash because the owner of the music is not bringing his own speaker boxes. We're going to use a reputable sound that is already in the venue. But they'll be bringing their dub plates, all of their music, and all of their banter. If you don't like talking in between songs, do not come to this clash. It is not for you.
Because clash is about what you say, man.
Yes, it is. And I say it can get personal.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, it's like a boxing match. And you will try to knock out your opponent. But in the sound clash, you can even hit below the belt.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there are no rules.
So
there are rules, but the rules, they allow you to even
flex.
get personal.
So how many sound system are clashing then?
There's only 2.
All right.
There's only 2. One coming from Perth, Future Sound. And let me tell you something. Future Sound is going to be hard to beat. And Pipeline is an Italian sound.
Yeah.
They're going to be hard to beat.
They're hardcore as well.
Between those 2 sound systems, they must have at least 500 dub plates. In fact, these guys I know are cutting dubs just for the clash.
Wow.
Just for the
Even now, they're getting dubs.
Getting dubs. Some of these guys have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on dub plates.
Wow.
So if you've never been to a sound clash, and you want to experience it, come with an open mind, but don't go complaining about the banter because that's a very, very
important
big part of it.
Yeah.
I will be emceeing the night.
Wow.
Because it has to run right.
Make sure the time is right. Everything is running right.
Yes, and make sure the audience is educated about what's happening.
Yeah, beautiful. The second one, Sweet and Dandy, tribute to Toots and the Mighty Cow on 11th of September.
Yeah, so the 11th of September is 9/11. It's a sad day in so many ways because last year in 2020 on September 11th, Toots died from COVID-19.
Oh, that's sad.
And 1987, as I mentioned before, on the 11th of September, Peter Tosh was shot and killed in Kingston. And you know...
In America, the 9/11 one,
So it's a very, very sad day, And And Toots was meant to come to Australia before he went back to Jamaica and then end up getting sick. And he didn't make it. And Toots has a lot of fans in Melbourne. And I feel like it's fitting, since September 11th this year is a Saturday night,
To
we
have.
put on a tribute to Toots at the Nightcat. And I've got 3 bands playing. You know, Scavengers, Johnny Longshot, and Luke Learwood, who's coming on also to play some Toots songs and songs from that era.
And enjoy the ska reggae, everything.
Yeah, and we have some amazing DJs who plays Toots music on radio, like Mohair Slim, Rico, Sister Baby, Miss Goldie, Fabulous Fez. They're all on the lineup, you know.
Beautiful.
They're all on the, and it's a tribute to Toots. You gotta get in to see this because these guys are very passionate, and it's on September 11th at the Nightcat in Fitzroy.
Early Lovers Rock.
Early Lovers Rock is an album that Mad Professor has just actually put on the market. That one I have not even started advertising yet.
All right.
But Lovers Rock as a genre of reggae music is very underrated.
Yeah.
And this one is for big people. When I say big people, I mean adults. And it is advisable that you bring a dancing partner.
Partner, you feel lonely.
Because I won't be sharing my dancing partner with anybody. And when we say Lovers Rock, man, there's gonna be some Dennis Brown, there's gonna be some John Holt. Just music that make you feel
pure
mushy
Lovers Rock. Yeah.
inside. And we're in a really cool venue.
Which one?
Revolver Lane on Chapel Street. It's underneath Revolver, that iconic place that used to play reggae and all kind of music from the 80s all the way back. So we're at Revolver Lane on the 2nd of October, for Lovers Rock.
Are you worried about the capacity of people or anything like that?
Well, once we sell to the capacity, it's a very small place, so, you know, 150 people is enough for us to have a great time.
Yeah.
So I'm not really too big on the numbers.
Yeah,
I just want good quality.
Yeah, quality
You know what I mean? Yes,
over
sir.
quantity.
100%, man.
That's true. Then the baby itself. Tell us about it.
The big Jamaican Music and Food Festival.
Yes,
This
sir.
year, it is going to be, like I said, 100% local. We're going to have DIY Hi-Fi, which is a solar-powered sound system. So these guys don't take any electricity off the
Electricity
grid.
from anywhere.
They've got their own solar panels, and they have these huge, old, used-up hospital batteries that they charge up with electricity, and they can play for 12 hours.
Wow.
So I'll be putting them in the most remote area of the venue.
Like
And they're
close to
gonna-
the water.
And they're gonna play their solar sound system, and they're gonna be in full effect with DJs on it, live bands on it, singers, MCs.
December.
December 4th. It's Saturday.
What time?
Well, the gates open at 11, and we won't shut them till 10 o'clock.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so 11 hours of Jamaican music.
Food,
Ska,
music.
rocksteady, dub, jungle. Man, I get so excited about this one. It's gonna be sick.
So, I mean, like, what's your favorite food you're going to be cooking for us when you get there? Are you going to be cooking as well?
Well, there is a big push for me to DJ and cook at the same time.
Yeah,
because
that's a
I've
pressure,
been doing some of that in my kitchen at home. But it's easy
Yeah,
to do
I
it
saw
in the kitchen.
you. I saw you.
It's very easy to do it in
You
the kitchen at home.
set it up, start playing, start cooking.
Yes, but I don't know. I'll give it a shot. You know, if I can get some people to do my job on the day. If I can delegate all of the positions, and when there's problems, no one come to me. Then I might be able to do a couple of sessions cooking and DJing.
How about the security? You've already organized it, security, ambulances and stuff like that?
No, the festival is 6 months away, you know, and there's a process with all of that.
I mean, now, obviously, people would want to just know.
But the venue,
from previous ones,
the venue has their own preferred suppliers for like security and first aid and the police. Then I gotta go over there to Williamstown again and go into the police station and have a chat with the sergeant.
Yes, sir.
And,
I'm sure they already
tell
know
him
you.
that everybody's going to behave themselves. Well, we run the festival for 5 years in a
Yeah,
row, and
I'm
no
sure
person has ever been kicked out. There's never been any violence. There's never been any fight. No one has ever been drunk and falling over. We've had a couple of complaints,
As usual.
As usual, because if you're listening, if you sit inside your house and you don't like music, you don't want to hear it, and you're gonna complain. We can't help that. But no, it's a good event. It's a family event with lots of kids, and everybody behave themselves. So I strongly recommend it.
Beautiful. Stick Maribo, do you want to give any shout outs? Because people always say, shout out to Stick Maribo and stuff like that. Do you have any particular people you go like, man, I need to shout out this person, and
yes, absolutely, man. I want to give big respect to Zar Demus, my partner in crime. And my best friend's daughter, my best friend went to Zion, passed away a few years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But Winston, rest in peace. I'm working with Lauren Mullings, who is my best friend's daughter. And she's my right-hand woman, She run all of my business for me. And, I can call upon her anytime. I want to give a big shout-out to Lauren. You're an angel. And, keep working hard, yeah? And all of my friends, that support me over the years, all the DJs from PBS and even people from Interstate like Mama Trees and General Justice. Of course, Sister BB at Triple R, on the good, the dub and the global.
Yes, sir.
100% support every time, And I got lots of good friends that, they wouldn't want me to start calling their names out, but you know who you are,
Out there.
And big ups to all of you and enough respect.
Grandpa Stick Maribo, we left anything that you wanted to talk to us about today?
Just call me Pops.
Pops,
That's what the grandkids call me, man.
All right, Pops Stick Maribo. Did they say Stick Maribo? They just say Pops.
Just Pops.
All right, Pops.
Just Pops. Yeah.
It's a great pleasure. I am really humbled to have you coming to the studio, man. And I love the support you have given us. And obviously, we will keep on supporting what you're doing as much as we are small at the moment. But what did you say before?
Which one?
The one about everyone starts from somewhere.
Yeah, so yeah, everything big started small. Even the biggest man that you've ever seen was once a baby.
Beautiful. Stick Maribo, thank you for visiting us today.
Blessed love, brother.